comics, Iron Man got Stark Tower. Look what it says. Stark Tower in Osaka, Japan. Osaka Tower is true Marvel. We all know the MCU is all Iron Man. Right? But this is the real one. This is the real. This shit is crazy. So, it opens December 7th. This is the day they fighting outside the insane asylum, right? What was December 7th? The attack on Pearl Harbor. Where what? The Imperial Japanese. You talking about the Japanese of Osaka? That was the day Osaka attacked the... Huh? It's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence. You know what I mean? We ain't going to talk about that. The year 1941, which is a 42, represents the actual degree necessary to turn light into a rainbow. You know that's how y'all see rainbows, the raindrops. It's because of 42-degree diffraction that happens with the light in the water. A true marvel. I'm like, y'all need to chill, man. Stop. Chill with all that. Chill with all that. Alright, so we're going to get deeper. We're going to get deeper because I'm crazy. I don't care if y'all take me to Ravenhill or not.
Yeah.
But I knew this when I saw it back in the day. I was like, bro, this means something right here, man. And it took damn near 20 years and not even in the same universe for it to make sense. What is he holding in his hand? Do y'all remember this scene, matter of fact, before I go into it? He was like, man, you better not be masturbating to them.
Jacking off back there.
Yeah, jacking off back there to the joints. I remember when I used to go to comic book stores when I was younger, they would have that section. I'd be so scared to go over there because they had a little wall and everything would be covered with like a cardboard, and you'd be looking over there. You're like, nah, man, I can't go over there, man. But nah, he was over in the corner. He was like, bro, you better not be doing what I think you're doing. And he just catatonic. He just zoned out. So he was like, man, I'm done, man. He come back there and he grabbed his wheelchair and he started pushing him. And every time he pushed him, Samuel L. Jackson would just throw his foot. Knock comics over. He'd be like, bro, what you doing, man? Pick the comics up, grab him back. He start pushing him again. Flack. Knock a bunch of, he's like, man, I'm going to go call the police. Then he grabs a comic and he hold it up and he'd be like, how much for this one? The comic he holding is called Century Man. You cannot tell me that cat is not Captain America, bro. You can't tell me that ain't Captain America. He holding it in his hand right there. Let me blow this up so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Come on, man. Red, white, and blue, got a star on his chest. Look at his head mask. He's just missing the shield. And what did Nick Fury do in the Marvel Universe? Isn't he responsible for waking Captain America up, bringing him to 42nd Street? When he woke up, talking about he needed to be part of the Avengers. Oh, I'm not done yet, though. I'm not done yet. That's just a piece of it. So, what else was Samuel L. Jackson just saying? He was in Captain Marvel. Hopefully y'all didn't see it. Anybody see that movie? Good. He's acting like, he's like, what is that? Good, just stay there with it. Don't even go looking for it. Anybody? Any Captain Marvels in here? Y'all awesome, perfect. Don't change your stance. Stay where you at. Horrible film. But Captain Marvel, Nick Fury was in there, but this was like this was a prequel, so it was set in the 90s. So he was kind of showing how he got started, kind of. And in that movie, it was the whole story of Captain Marvel, of this woman that gets this insanely incredible power and all that type of stuff. But before she has the power, Marvel has the power, which is the name of some alien entity. But the first appearance of Carol Danvers, who's the woman who's to become Captain Marvel, there's a battle going on, and the battle is happening between the Sentry and Marvel, which is the exact comic book he holding up, Sentry Man. And I'm like, you end up in a movie about the origin of Captain Marvel, who had to face a villain who was called the Sentry. You was in the comic book store, and you had to pull out They never explained why they did this. But they got this Captain America Marvel crossover, and Captain Marvel is supposed to be the new Captain America now in the Marvel Universe. So I found all that quite interesting.
He was also in that movie Spirit. The Spirit? Samuel Jackson was in that. He was the villain in the film.
The Spirit, that's not DC, that's like Vertigo?
Something like that.
Yeah, that came out like in the late 90s or something, right? Yeah.
He explained, just like in the movie Glass, what he told his mother, he said this was an origin story. You see what I'm saying? So he tells the guy who's the spirit, who's like the protector of the city, that we made you.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? He was a scientist. He said, we made you. He gave that Yakubian story.
Yeah, I remember the spirit.
You see what I'm saying? Saying, look, we made you to do this. You see what I'm saying? He's like, I'm not your enemy. I'm your father.
I'm your creator.
You understand what I'm saying? So
I gave you the spirit. All right, so her name was Ellie Staples. What is a staple? Well, on its most basic level, when we talk about comic books, it's a neutral body that is responsible for keeping the comic together. And without the staples, it falls all apart. That's exactly what she does. Causes you to fall apart and lose your integrity, just like staples do. Now, the same way everybody else had a color, you got the green, yellow joint with David Dunn, you got the purple with Mr. Glass, right? You got the, what's the name? Oh yeah, he was yellow. The Beast was yellow, but what's the name was green, and he was purple, and she was pink. Once again, color spectrum. Okay? In order to have pink, you got to mix red and white. She represents the cerebellum, because the cerebellum is the part of the brain that they refer to as the fear network. So, when you encounter things in your life that you fear, you're scared of, and insecure about, it gets stored here. Now she stays in an insane asylum, right? Where she got her office with file cabinets, and she got everybody's file. She's able to sit in front of them and go back step by step and tell them, yo, you did this, you did that, you did the third, you crazy. You did this, you did that, you did the third, you crazy too. Because of the fear network that is impressed upon the cerebellum, she being the cerebellum, she could reach up in her bag of tricks whenever she want to show, look, you scared, bro, you scared. You scared, this is your fear right here. She had a superpower. So, at the end, I'm like, yo, how 20 years and this is how everybody die? He gets shot in the stomach. He get drowned in a puddle. Oh, and he just get crunched. Like homeboy just bear hugged him and it was a wrap. Because he found out he killed his father. He killed Mr. Glass like nothing. But then we see these cats with the little tattoos on there. And it's like, what does that mean? Well, they're 3-leaf clovers. What's special about a 3-leaf clover, y'all? Absolutely nothing, exactly. What was their main point? They said they don't want people to know heroes exist. Right. We want a sense of normalcy to persist. That's why they got the 3-leaf clover as opposed to the 4-leaf clover. Because a 4-leaf clover is a superhero. That's rare. That's seen as what? Good luck, omens. You getting into voodoo and all that type of stuff now. Just talking about it. That's normal. That's what they want. They showing the shadow of that. Maintaining ignorance through normalcy. But that ain't enough. It got to be a little bit more that makes this thing like, why did they do it? Why did they have shamrocks tattooed on their hand? Why was there a secret society of shamrock tattooed people bent on making sure that people don't believe that they got the power within them. The main people who own Marvel and Star Wars and every other goddamn hero got Shamrock Holdings. That's their investment firm. So investors are definitely gonna care. Once again, I ain't made this up. Y'all Google it right now. Shamrock Holdings is the firm founded as the Roy E. Disney family. And do you know how much? First of all, Avengers Endgame made $1.2 billion in a weekend, and that's just one of their franchises. How much money does Disney have, bro? They got at least 33% of my brain on lock, bro. Aladdin, Lion King, freaking, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Toy Story, we go back. I'm about to say go on. Man, who been to Disneyland? Who been to Disney World? Who loves Star Wars? They own all that, you know? So that's what them Shamrocks is for. All right, so we got to get deeper. Because, see, the reason why I got the swag I do when it comes to breaking down movies, because I ask questions most people don't. And I think about things people don't. It's all taking place at a psychiatric hospital. Everybody want to know more about the character. What about the facility that's holding them? Now, Allentown is the name of the building that they actually shot at. But what did they call it in the movie? They called it Ravenhill. Ravenhill, which is an actual mansion that exists in Philadelphia. Let's see what this damn mansion has to tell us about. Huh? Why I got his face all in front of the joint right there. Hold on. That's him. We don't need to see him. I'm about to erase him.
Yes, we do.
Do we?
I mean, we don't have to see him anymore, but...
Y'all see him, right?
Yes.
Okay, now he's going. He's done. All right, so his name is, I don't even got his full name up there, but his last name is Waitman. Waitman. I don't even have his first name on here. No. All right. So Waitman died at the age of 90 years on August 25th, 1904 at his what mansion?
Ravenhill.
Ravenhill Mansion, and where? Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where the movie was shot and filmed. By the way, M. Night Shyamalan only films in Philly. Every movie he's ever done has been in Philadelphia. He doesn't leave outside of a radius for some reason. Oh yeah, every film is Philly. Every one.
Wow.
Waitman was born September 30th, 1813 in Waltham, Lincolnshire, England. He immigrated to the United States, age 16, invited by his uncle, chemist John Farr. Farr founded the firm Farr and Coonsey, the first manufacturers of sulfate. Didn't I just talk about that with vitamin D? What the hell going on? Of quinine in the United States. Upon Coonsey's retirement in 1836, Farr partnered with Thomas Powers, 27-year-old Waitman, to establish Farr, Powers, and Waitman. Wait a minute. That can't be their names. Farr, Powers, and Waitman? Farr, Powers, and Waitman. Manufacturing chemist in 1841. Waitman married Louisa Stillwagon. Stillwagon, though? We know what your family was doing. Together they had 3 children, John, William, Jr., and Ann. Okay, so that's a lot of talk, but we got to look at this sulfate quinine thing. What the hell they talk about? Well, they were isolating quinine from a plant called chicona, which is an herb that heals fever and malaria. So tell me why M. Night Shyamalan, the place where the 3 superheroes are being interrogated about what power they inherently have, there's a history of herbalism. The bark of trees in this genus is the source of a variety of alkaloids, the most familiar of which is quinine, an antipyretic, anti-fever agent, especially used in treating malaria. while the extraction of a mixture of alkaloids from the chinchona bark known in India as a chinchona febrifuge. A febrifuge means a plant for the fever. That febra prefix is dealing with fever. While antipyretic also means anti-fever, but pyretic just means hot, you know, your heat. The alkaloid mixture or sulfated form mixed in alcohol and sold as quinatum was, however, very bitter and caused nausea amongst some other side effects. But that's somebody holding the bark, and that's the plant right there. Now, when I talk about alkaloids, plants have secondary metabolites that we utilize to make ourselves better. So when somebody say, hey man, what herb do you think I could take to get rid of this, KT? It's not the herb, it's the secondary plant metabolites in the herb that you extract, that you assimilate, and helps your body, okay? Now, one of those plant metabolites are classified, all right, as a group of molecules called alkaloids. Alkaloids is where cocaine is found. That's an alkaloid. Dimethyltryptamine, that's an alkaloid. Alderman-theogens is alkaloids. They're very potent. They're very powerful. What makes an alkaloid specific is the fact that it's made up of something called an aromatic ring, which is 6 carbon atoms in a ring formation, which is very dynamic, because an aromatic ring of carbon has the ability to create something called aromatic ring current. Now, imagine a hexagon, right? 6-sided. Each point represents a carbon. Now, if you're looking at a hexagon from a chemical standpoint, you're looking at it bird's eye view. That's what that shape looks like. But if you're trying to look at it, it's going to look like a table, flat, facing you. That's what this hexagon is. Now, what ends up happening is the electrons in this formation ends up creating a current of electricity on the top of the plane of the molecule and on the bottom of the plane of the molecule. And anytime you have current, you got magnetism. So then magnetism is generated. So each one of these alkaloids become its own magnetic field in your body, its own power, its own arc reactor. That's an arc reactor. That's an ever-living, spinning force of energy with a magnetic field around it. And that's just one 6-sided carbon. An alkaloid might have 3 attached, and then it'll combine and be one giant joint. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is, M. Night Shyamalan has been telling us for 20 years that we have abilities beyond our belief that's in us. We see certain little glimpses of it on the news or articles or even in real time when we're out and about. But because of how busy our lives are and the world is, we kind of brush by it and then we forget about it, we store it away. But we have the ability to be great. Because if I can take one 6-sided molecule out of a body that is composed of trillions and quintillions of cells, then that means that if you're made up of all those atoms and you have the ability to generate force beyond your belief, it's just that we keep hitting a ceiling because we don't know we got it inside of us, you know? So yeah, man, Ravenhill Mansion was a spot where this Waitman cat, Far Power Waitman, they were herbalists. They was extracting plant energy and selling it to the masses to heal people from fever, flu, and problems. Because David Dunn, remember, he was security. That's immune system. That's protecting yourself, from getting taken out the game, So, so in herbalism, chinchona bark was used as an adulterant in Jesuits bark or Peruvian bark, which originally is thought to have referred to myroloxin periferum, another fever remedy. So everybody was using this for fever, bruh. So temperature going up and that's deep because if the beast represents the hypothalamus is the thermostat. That gland is what can increase, decrease your temperature. You see? So if the beast is the main villain, if that's who David Dunn is fighting, and we here talking about an antipyretic that is specifically designed to deal with the hypothalamus. Come on, man. But yeah, that's just some extra info on there. Yeah, I believe that's it on. Yeah, that's it right there. That's the presentation on the glass. Do I have any questions?
Yes, I got a question.
Oh yes.
What part of it, because when you, that far hours Waitman, and then they killed the dude who was talking about, hey, you know you can do this, take this plant, you know, you gotta eat them greens. The guy that was the why did that have anything to do with why they killed him? Why would they kill him?
Why did Darrow get killed?
Right, why did he get killed?
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah.
talking about the history of this place and
Because-
the herbalists.
Because the whole premise of this film, you had two factions going on. You had one faction that was trying to fool you into believing you don't have the power. Part of that power is healing.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Wolverine, he got a healing power.
Right.
No matter what happens to him, he heals back. So being able to heal yourself is an inherent power that we have. And being able to make you feel like you have to depend upon Big Pharma or other things to make you manage a disorder rather than overcome a disorder, that's a great power. So the minute that he was talking all that vitamin D shit, yeah, they cut his throat in the movie.
Right.
Immediately, even though it was Glass who did it, he still got dealt with. You know, because even though he was preaching all that information with health, look at what he was keeping up. Because he was a guard in that insane asylum. He was no better than Staples. So, you know, he got his karmic thing. How you gonna be talking about vitamin D and then you on this jump, bro? You know?
That's why you had to go. That's why you had to go.
I want to ask you one quick. No, go ahead.
Okay, well, I noticed you were showing the thyroids and everything, which a lot of women have, and I've been diagnosed with it as well. So, what type of food can one take to try to
Assist with the thyroid
Yes.
gland. Yeah, thyroid gland has everything to do with iodine. Everything to do with iodine and an amino acid called tyrosine. Tyrosine is responsible for producing melanin. It combines with copper and it becomes an enzyme called tyrosinase, and tyrosinase produces melanin. Iodine is added to tyrosine, and that becomes T3 and T4, which are your two thyroid hormones. You got three, you got calcitonin too, and that deals with your calcium levels in your blood. But with your metabolism, it's T3 and T4. T4 is thyroxine, T3 is called triiodothyronine. Thyronine is like the molecule, iodo means iodine is in it, iodine's in it, and then tri means three. What's three? Three what? Three iodine atoms. T4 got 4 iodine atoms. T3 is more powerful because it's a concentrated T4. Just like if you had to make gravy, starts out watery, but you reduce it so it gets thick. And that's what T4 does in order to become T3. It's like it's a reduction down so it can become more potent. So you want to increase thyroid receptors that would accept more thyroid hormone. So it could be a lack of iodine, a lack of vitamin D, because usually where you find concentrations of thyroid hormone receptors, you find concentrations of vitamin D receptors too. So blocking your neck, your throat in front of screens, because blue light can penetrate the skin and hit whatever's right under the surface. Your thyroid sits right on your throat, right under the skin. So it can penetrate and hit the thyroid, and it'll hurt its production. It'll manipulate its production. Remember I said color is a visual expression of a frequency we can see. So blue light is not just a color, it's a frequency, and that frequency is not good for the thyroid gland. So wearing like a turtleneck in front of the screen or something, you know, or there's a program called Iris. It's like your eye, and this computer program removes all the blue light from your screen. So when you use your computer, it's gonna be like red or orange or something because all the blue's gone. You know, so I would suggest more iodine. So then the next question is, what? I'm supposed to eat more salt? Like, what do you mean? No, sea vegetable, sea vegetable, sea vegetable. Specifically brown seaweed, because brown seaweeds usually have the most iodine. Kelp got a lot of iodine. Aramay got a lot of iodine. My C3 got a lot of iodine. Bladderwrack got a lot of iodine. So you want to get all these sea vegetables, Whole Foods, Natural Grocers, H-Mart, all these different stores, they all have seaweed sections, and they sell them. Get a bunch of them, start making soup, start putting them in your teas. You know, you can take like dulse, and dulse as well as purple lava, they can be like, they already seasoned because they come out the ocean, so they got salt on them already. So you don't gotta like salt them. But if you wanted to throw like other seasonings you like on them and put them in the oven and become crispy, they're like potato chips, you can eat it like that, you know, and that'll get the iodine in. That way you can give your thyroid the necessary element it needs. Because if it doesn't have enough, then it can't do nothing. Iodine is a very, very powerful element. Yeah, so iodine. Iodine. And another thing for the woman when it comes to fibroids, women who have fibroids are lacking vitamin D. There's a poor ratio between progesterone and estrogen inside the woman, because estrogen is like a super growth factor. And if progesterone ain't there to kind of like, it's like reins on a horse. Like say you got a horse that bucks, all that you want reins to hold it and tell it which way to go. Otherwise, it might knock you off and you break your back. You know, so you want to put reins on the estrogen with progesterone, and then you want to get out in the sun so you get your vitamin D up. There's an app called D-Minder, the letter D, and then M-I-N-D-E-R, and this app on your phone, you can drop your geographical location, and it'll tell you, no matter where you are on the planet, when the vitamin D hours during the day is. And for Texas, it's between 9:15 and 5:15 right now. So we got like a whole 8 hours window. And then solar noon is in the middle. So solar noon would be somewhere around probably 12:30, maybe 12:30. And right around that time is when you get the most intense vitamin D energy. So any woman who got fibroids, if y'all get outside and show more of that skin during those times of day in the summer, you'll get way more vitamin D receptor expression. Progesterone and estrogen balances will balance back out, and then you'll notice the fibroids will start to shrink. Vitamin D, that's all it is. Vitamin D is everything. We don't get a lot because a lot of us are outside of ourselves. There was a great migration that occurred in the early 1900s where everybody moved from the south up to Chicago, Ohio, New York, Illinois. That's why everybody up there from down here. That's why they always come down to visit. They got grandparents from here. Because the South wasn't trying to hear emancipation and slavery. They weren't trying to hear it. They was like, okay, y'all free, but we still about to ride on y'all cats. We still about to put y'all head on spikes. They were Game of Thrones and cats. So when Ford and the cat who had the newspaper in Chicago was like, yo, we got work. And y'all ain't about to be like, ain't nobody about to be racist. Y'all can have a house. Y'all can own your own business. Folks was like, man, I'm out of here. And it was a big migration of people that left the South and went up north. But because they went up north, they're now in a 40, 50, 60 degree latitude. That latitude is not conducive to your genetics. See, Texas is special. I don't know. I'm not a flat earther, but I know something about this globe shit ain't right. Because Texas got some stuff growing here that don't grow on the same latitude in Georgia and the same latitude in Alabama. I know because I'm from the Caribbean. I see some of my herbs growing here, and I'm like, what the hell? You can only grow here if there's a certain light cycle that occurs. You know, and then I'm looking at the D-Minder app at the UV index be like 11 and 12. And then it's long, like 9 hours. I'm like, bro, we somewhere they ain't telling us. You know, Texas is different. It's different here.
What's the name of the app?
D-Minder, like reminder, but with a D.
D-Minder.
Download that ASAP. And you can get all your vitamin D info you need. It even has it where you can like customize it to you. You can put like if you're, let's say you're eating a diet where you get a certain amount of vitamin D in, you can put that amount into and they'll calculate, tell you how much you want to get like 600 IUs a day. IU stands for international units. You want to get about 600 in a day. And 600 right now in Texas, it's like an hour. Maybe an hour and a half. You'll get that. But you gotta be outside, like short sleeves, less clothes the better. If you got a backyard with a fence, bucket naked. Bucket naked, take your clothes off. I'm on a huge movement to get women to take their clothes off. They're gonna laugh. They're gonna be like, KT, what? Butt naked, take clothes off. Take off the bra, take off the panties now. Nah, for real, because we have to showcase. Women need to put their behind, vagina, and breasts in the sun. Have to. All the problems come. You look on the walls in all the antiquity, them women, I ain't seen no woman with no tie hair. Have you seen a woman with pants on? Oh, anywhere in the past, bro. Never. They got dresses on. You know why? Because more than likely they had no panties on. And they was letting that thing breathe. Right?
Yes. Okay.
What was you about to say? I'm sorry.
I
threw you off there. I'm
no,
sorry.
because when you said that, I was like, okay, well, because when I put my clothes on today, I said, you know what, I'm going to go out the house with no bra on.
Yes.
Girl.
Yes. Y'all see the women in South Africa?
For real, they wear no bra.
I'm tired of wearing
Hey,
no
look
bra.
at the breasts.
And they nipples be looking dead at you. I'm like, why moms don't look like that? And it's because you got them underwires on, messing your junk up.
You got women all in California trying to get their breasts to look like the women in South Africa.
Right.
But the women in South Africa, they don't got no plastic surgeon down there they going to. They smiling, they just dancing all day with beads on.
Yeah.
That's all women want to do is just dance and listen to music, right? Y'all need to do that. Y'all got to have y'all music dance time and y'all naked time. You know, just find a remote area. If you got your own property, use it. Get that sunlight in. Get it in, get it in, get it in. Any more questions? If I had time, man, I would have went into a lot more stuff because this presentation is combined with my what's the name presentation too.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Go for it.
It's about the second movie, Split. You know, a scene that I seen in it towards the very end. So the girl, I can't remember her name, but the girl at the very end, she shoots the beast twice.
Mm-hmm.